MGM Plus is debuting, along with NFL Films, a new episode of NFL Icons this Saturday. It is an honor, always is, to have the Super Bowl champion, the Hall of Famer, a Michigan man on the program, the subject of the latest NFL Icons. Charles Woodson, it's great to see you, man.
Man, great to see you too, man. How you doing?
We're doing well. And I love what you said as you opened up this piece. Rich, by the way, narrates it, which makes it even better. Fellow Michigan man. Charles, you say,
right.
I've done a lot of things that nobody's done at the beginning of the piece, right? From win a Heisman to win a Super Bowl to get a gold jacket. Now you're a winemaker. Fantastic wine, by the way. Bourbon, I'm told, as well now.
Yep.
Is there anything you haven't done yet that you want to do?
Yeah, but I don't play anymore, man. I would have liked to have won another Super Bowl. That would have been nice. But I guess I had to settle for the one.
There isn't like, I want to be an astronaut, like I want to climb Everest. There isn't anything like that?
No, I've seen what happened to people that climb Mount Everest, and I don't want any parts of that. You know what I do want to do? And, you know, a couple of years ago, my wife bought me a guitar. And I started kind of, you know, playing around with it, but I haven't really, you know, dug into it. I got to learn how to play the guitar, man. I got to do that at some point.
So I tried that years ago. I moved to LA in 2000, Charles. I didn't know anyone. I had a little apartment in the valley. I had a job that made me get up at 3 a.m. every day and literally had nothing to do. So I went and bought a guitar, but that was like before the whole YouTube lessons thing. And I didn't want to go do a lesson.
Yeah.
And I tried to teach myself, and it was awful.
Yeah, it's hard to do it on your own, man. You definitely need a teacher.
Do you have a golf club on right now? Are we interrupting a golf game?
No, I'm in the car, man. I actually got to my son's school early because I wanted to be stationary, you know, for when he gets out of school, and just to make sure I'm right here where I'm at right now, so I can be ready for the show.
Beautiful. I thought I saw a golf club there.
Car pickup, man.
Yeah, no. Hey, no, you're a good dad. I want to go back to the NFL Icons piece, which everyone should check it out coming up on Saturday. Charles, this is like the best interview setup I have seen. Charles, where were you sitting for this sit down?
I was at the Dr. Phillips. I was downtown Orlando.
That is
wild.
wild.
Dr. Phillips, Dr. Phillips Art Center downtown. So yeah, it was beautiful, beautiful setup, man, and great time sitting down and doing that interview, man. Very, very proud to be a part of Icons.
Because I saw it, I'm like, dude, is that your house?
Yeah, I wish.
Is that the winery? Like, that's bonkers.
No. Yeah, that was, like I said, downtown Orlando. They were gracious enough to host us and let us use that facility. And, I'm glad you liked it.
Talking to the great Charles Woodson. Charles, what do you think of what Travis Hunter is doing in Colorado?
Yeah, it's amazing, man. I get asked all the time, how's he going to, hold up, or can he continue to do it? And my answer is always that, if you're just going to, guard people and have to, turn and, run with the receivers, or if you're playing receivers and you're just running routes, like, he can do that all day. That's just about endurance. And so that's no problem. But when you're playing 120 plus snaps, at some point it's just a game, that'll get to you, because you're going to have, you're going to play better opponents. You're going to have guys who are better at tackling and getting to you. You're going to have better opponents at being able to, run better routes. You're going to have to tackle bigger running backs. And so the game at some point takes its toll when you're playing that many snaps. But to watch him, the way he moves out there as a receiver, he understands, how to get open, how to sit down in zones. And then defensively, just making plays, all over the field. He shows his athleticism every time he's out there. So I am, amazed that he's doing it every game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, I was doing, another show a couple of weeks ago, and people were talking about me being a two-way player. I'm like, no, he's a two-way player. I just dibbled and dabbled a little bit on offense, but he's actually an offense and defensive player. So definitely impressed with what he's done so far.
Charles, do you think we will ever see the day where someone tries to do that, or rather an organization, a coaching staff has the faith to try to do that with whether it's Travis or somebody else at the NFL level?
Now, I won't say never. I'm sure someone will say, "Hey, we got a great athlete. Let's let him play both sides of the ball." But like I said, man, the NFL. It's one thing to do it in college, but the NFL is just a totally different level. And if you're going to try to play each snap on both sides of the ball, like be a starter on both sides, I don't think that's happening. It's just going to wear you down. I think your career will be very short. Maybe you could do it for a year, maybe two, but your career won't last very long.
All right, let's get to the Raiders here. Saw you during the preseason broadcast, intercept wines and the bourbon brand of the preseason games, and that was fun. And then the season started, and then everything kind of went downhill. Charles, have you ever seen a team smoke victory cigars and celebrate after a Week 9 game?
I've never done that. That is about as old school as you can get. I would imagine that the old Raiders back in the 70s and 80s probably did that. But no, I have never witnessed that, have never seen that. But look, nonetheless, I was excited for the Raiders. Now, you could see the energy, that those guys had after that victory. You can see the energy before the game, the way they were reacting to Antonio Pierce, their new, their interim head coach. I was just excited to see them guys playing good football and having fun, because it didn't seem like they were having fun the first half of this season.
How bad was it?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, you could just watch the body language of those guys. I mean, you had Devontae Adams in press conferences, voicing his frustration after wins. You watch Hunter Renfrow, a guy who 2 years ago had over 100 catches, and he's nowhere to be found. Josh Jacobs led the league in rushing last year, and he couldn't get going. This thing was falling apart. It was melting, and Mark Davis decided he had to make a decision. And, at least for one game, it was the right decision. But I think it was something, that he had to do. I think when people or guys in that locker room, when they lose faith in the coach, when they stop buying what you're selling, it's over. And Mark Davis read the room, and he made a decision to move on, and I think it was the right decision for this team.
In your NFL Icons piece, obviously Tom Brady makes an appearance. We all saw the NFL Films thing a couple of years ago where you talked about the tuck rule game and all that nonsense. Did Mark consult you or Tom before making the move?
No, didn't consult me. I talked to Mark quite a bit, but we didn't talk before this move was made. I'm not sure about Tom. I know Tom is eyeing, partnership. So maybe that was a conversation, that he had with Tom. But, I don't know that half of it. But, I didn't talk to him before this move was made.
All right, I got to ask you about Michigan. I'm sorry. I know how Rich feels. I know how Desmond Howard feels. I think I know how you feel because I know how the Michigan community feels. You guys are kind of backed into the corner right now. What's your take on Harbaugh and some dude named Connor Stallions and taping and tickets and all
Well, the way that I've answered this question is that I couldn't believe or wouldn't believe that Jim would go through those lengths, to try to steal other people's signs. I just think that was an elaborate operation that I just don't believe that he would have done. I would never say that they weren't trying to take signs. I don't know. I think every team, has someone around their organization that is tasked with trying to, hey, if you can marry up a sign with the call on the field, you do it. I just don't believe they went through those great lengths. And now, we have today, you have, some anonymous source coming out talking about all of the other Big Ten schools that were doing it. So, look, man, there's a lot of people pointing fingers, but on some level, everyone is trying to find the other team's signs, especially if you're on the sideline holding up cards, or if you're, every time you line up for a play, the quarterback has to turn and look at the sideline and get the call. So, look, everybody's trying to do it. We seem to be the one who everyone is attacking right now. But like you said, we're backed into a corner. We'll come out fighting. And, I'm sure they'll try to levy some type of punishment, but I think we'll be fine.
The story came out last night that a coach from somewhere else in the Big Ten sent to the conference and had sent to Michigan last year, hey, we know that somebody has stolen your signs and that's getting passed around so that someone's trying to do it to you. So to your point, okay, well, we haven't seen enough proof that they did it. I don't know that Jim did it, but the fact is other people are doing other things as well.
Yeah, on some level, everyone is doing it. I mean, I remember hearing, and this is not, someone stealing signs, but when you talk about Colorado, when they played Oregon, earlier this year, and Deion came out and said he heard of other coaches that were sending Oregon, information on their team. So on some level, all of that stuff is going on. My stance was I just don't believe that Jim went through those links to do it. Now, if the Connor guy was out there doing that on some level and maybe talking to another person on the staff, I don't know that. I just don't believe Jim knew that.
What's the craziest sign stealing story you have from the NFL? Anything?
Yeah, only Spygate. I mean, that's the that's the most obvious one from everyone that they were spying on the practice or whatnot. But like I said, on some level, we would always try to watch the TV copy, as a defense, trying to see if we can hear something that the other team was saying when we can marry it up with a sign. So look, everyone is trying to get that edge. Yeah, sure. Can you go too far if you're planting cameras or something like that? Sure. But everybody's trying to get the edge on the other team.
What's the best part about being a winemaker?
Man, I think for me, it's the feedback that I get from, people who love wine and people who try my product. I think it's the reaction, that I'll get from someone who, doesn't know that it's my name on the label and they're just trying it. And then all of a sudden figuring out that it's my wine and saying, man, this is excellent wine. So for them to enjoy it without knowing it's mine, that's the best part about being in this business.
I was telling the guys before he came on, go back to the Minneapolis Super Bowl. Minneapolis, I think? Yeah. Got a bottle of your wine, Intercept wine, and I had it, and I tasted it before, like maybe the night before. Then I got my hands on the bottle, and I'm like, all right, I got to take this home. Charles, I don't check bags. I refuse to check bags. Right?
Yeah.
For those of us who travel a lot, you're like, there's no way I'm wasting another half hour and checking my bag. Like, I checked the bag. Your wine was that good, man. Like, I put it in my bag and I put it under the plane. I got to take it home.
I like that. That's the stamp of approval, man. I love that.
Bam. And now
that's the best part of the business right there, is hearing stories like that.
And final thought. Now you're making bourbon. Tell me about that.
Yeah, making bourbon is called Woodson Bourbon Whiskey. And for anyone who would, like to check out our website, go to woodsonwhiskey.com. But myself and my partners, we started this business about 3 years ago. It's a Kentucky bourbon coming out of Owensboro, Kentucky. And so we've been doing that for a while. We just became the official bourbon of the Las Vegas Raiders. So if you attend the game there, we got a great branded bar there in the stadium. And check us out next time you're in the stadium or any of the bars there, man. Order Woodson Whiskey, man, and give me a shout. Tag me. Let me know what you think.
Go take a shot after the Raiders beat the Jets coming up on Sunday. Charles, I lied.
I like that.
One more thing. Special guest just walked into the studio, and she's in front of a microphone. Amy?
I saw you on the monitor, Charles Woodson. This is Amy Trask, and I wrote them a note saying, tell Charles Woodson I love him, not in a weird or creepy way. And they said, say hi to Charles yourself. So as I hear you discuss your bourbon, I just want to let Andrew know that Intercept Wine, Charles Woodson's Intercept Wine, is the official wine of the Trask household.
Oh, there you go.
And I will also admit to you that which Charles continues to tease me about. It took me months to realize why he named it Intercept Wine. See,
really?
Yeah, it really did. It really did. And I was on the sideline for all his magnificent Raider interceptions. And I really do love you, Charles. Right. And now I'll butt out of the show.
I love you back. I love you back, man. Hey, Amy's been great to us, man. She makes sure that everyone knows about Intercept Wine. She posts the greatest pictures of our wine next to her backdrop. She's got the ocean in the background, and man, she's giving me great pub for Intercept. So I may have to hire Amy. I don't know.
And every time I go into a store where they sell wine, I'll say really loudly, "Do you carry Intercept wine?" And if they say no, I get all huffy and puffy. And if they do, I make sure everyone in the store, I run around with it and show it to everybody.
All right, now we're going to get you to drink.
I got you.
Wow.
Charles, you had our back when you were with the team. I got your back forever.
Man, I love that. Thank you. And I'll always have your back. Always got the Raiders back. That was a great win for us the other night, Amy, and I'm hoping they keep it up as well as I know you do too.
Yep.
Charles, we appreciate you getting back on here. You're a good dad. Waiting for the car pickup there. Good luck.
Sir.
Good luck this Sunday. Good luck with the wine and the bourbon. And everyone, watch on MGM Plus NFL Icons with Charles Woodson, voiced by Rich Eisen, coming up on Saturday. Thanks, Charles.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes,
Tell Richard
sir.
said hello.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.